We take you live now to the Ontario Food Terminal, where Mayor Chow is officially launching the 2026 budget.
And North York Harvest and Second Harvest, they are all here. Thank you for your good work. It takes thousands upon thousands of people here in the city and outside of it to keep the millions of people who live here fed. And yet, for too many, feeding ourselves is becoming more expensive. Far too many people are getting anxious when the cashiers ring up their groceries, when you find yourself putting things back on the shelf, calculating in your head whether you can afford both the vegetables and the protein. That's a problem. For those who live on the margins, the vulnerable, the unhoused, the people living paycheck to paycheck, they are making impossible choices every single day. Add to that the high cost of housing and gas and the slow growth of wages, the list goes on. Almost everyone is feeling it. In fact, for more than 3 months, I've heard directly from thousands of you about exactly that. We ask your opinions through telephone town halls, in-person meetings, and written submissions when we were preparing our budget. And the people we talk to get it. They know the reasons behind all of this are complicated. You don't need a PhD in economics to realize that no one person or one company, no one government is responsible for all of it. But they expect us to do our part because they know that only by each of us doing our part can we get through these tough times. They want all of us leaders in all of our roles, inside government and outside, to do our part. That's why I'm here today. I'm here to tell you that we heard you and to tell you what we will do for our part to make things more affordable this year, to step up and take responsibility. First, let's talk numbers. Food costs have grown nearly 5% over the past year. And families of 4 can expect to spend almost $1,000 more on groceries in 2026, which is why we make sure that every day kids in school across Toronto can eat healthy foods purchased in bulk from businesses here at the terminal. We started a school food program that serves families with 2 kids in school $880 a year, which we save. Natasha, who is with us today, have teenage twin boys and a preteen, Ella, who's here. Now, I don't have to tell the parents here, when you have older kids, a week's worth of snacks can disappear with a couple of trips to the fridge. With our school food program, she knows that no matter what's happening at home, rising rents, overdue bills, or grocery costs, her children will get healthy food at their schools. It was a good start, but we have to do more. So that's why in our 2026 budget, we are funding new programs at 155 more schools, feeding 62,000 more students, so every kid in every one of the Toronto's public schools gets fed. Every kid, no exceptions. And no child in this city should have to learn on an empty stomach. We're being smart about it. We're buying in bulk to maximize every dollar. And we try to make sure those dollars stays in Ontario. We buy apples from Durham region, pears from Niagara, carrots from Thorndale, and milk and dairy products from across the province. I would love nothing more than to make everyone's grocery bill shrink overnight. That's something no one city, no one government, no one leader can do alone. But I can make sure kids in our city are able to focus on learning and growing, not on how hungry they are today. It's what we can do, so we are doing it. And while kids are at school, parents and their friends and neighbors are thinking about their futures also. They work hard, but they're feeling they're falling behind. They're doing everything right, showing up, putting in the hours, and still struggling to keep up. Rents and mortgages are taking a bigger and bigger chunks of everybody's paycheck year after year. And here's what you said about it. You want a city that rewards hard work, where if you work here, you can afford to live here, where the person who serves you coffee in the morning or cares for your aging parents can actually live in the neighborhoods they serve. And a lot of you agree that people who are doing extremely well, the top half of the 1%, should contribute their fair share so the city works for everyone. So we are asking the top 2% of home buyers of luxury properties to pay more. And we're going after speculators who leave their homes empty and drive up prices for everybody. Those two measures will bring in about $250 million, which will keep the property tax at the rate of inflation, which is 2.2%. We're also standing up for renters. We're adding more inspectors to enforce safe, well-maintained apartments and increasing our investment in the rent bank and the eviction prevention program to help over 9,000 residents stay in their homes next year. Because an eviction doesn't just mean losing the four walls and a roof. It can mean kids changing school, losing your job, losing everything you've built. We're building thousands of new affordable homes to continue bringing the costs of rent down across the city. Now, Catherine Schultz, I don't know whether she's here. She bought a home in 2022, and when she got a home energy assessment, she was told her home leaked like a barn. So, it's very cold. She tapped into the city's home energy loan program and updated her furnace and water heaters to energy-efficient heat pumps. Added insulation, all with low-cost financing and rebates from the city. We want to make it cheaper for you to cut your energy costs to protect your home from basement flooding. It's what we can do, so we are doing it. Then there's getting around in our city. A lot of us rely on the TDC to do that. That's why we are keeping TDC fares frozen for the third year in a row. That saves a working couple $300 every year. We are rewarding frequent riders. The more you ride, the less you pay. After 47 rides in a month, you don't pay anymore. And next year, we'll make it even better. Free rides after just 40 trips. Maria Sherry is here today. She's from East Scarborough and works long shifts as a personal support worker, then takes the bus home to care for her elderly mom. She leaves before sunrise and gets home after dark exhausted. Keeping TDC fares low and not having to buy a monthly pass, up front will make Maria's life a little less stressful. It's one less thing to worry about. Now, we want you to have more places to go for free. So every library in our city will be open 7 days a week. More access for you and your family to learn, to play, to enjoy some quiet time, and take a breather. We also have a duty to keep you safe. It's been working. Crime continues to go down across our city. We've reduced 911 wait times by 75%. But there's more to do, and we're hiring more firefighters, paramedics, police officers, and mental health workers to keep you safe. It's what we can do, so we are doing it. That brings me to the older adults. You told us loud and clear we need to do more to support them. These are the people who built the city, who raised us, who worked their whole lives and deserve to live with dignity and independence. In my budget, I added funding so older adults can age safely and comfortably in their homes. We're eliminating the 3-year wait list for homemakers and nursing services and boosting funding for programs to help seniors manage their finances and clean their home. I met Hester last week. She's 72 and lives at home. She had waited 3 years for just 2.5 hours of support every 2 weeks. She had trouble with her knees, could not see very well, and could not bend over to clean. 2 years ago, she finally got the support she needed. Now she has a clean home, she can have people over, volunteer in the community, and be independent again. She has her dignity back. We need more stories like that. We also heard that our small businesses need more support. Small businesses are Toronto's #1 employer. They are core to our identity as a city. They're the fabric of our neighborhoods. The family restaurants, the corner stores, the shops run by people who know your name. So in my budget, I'm adding a 5% tax break for small businesses, which brings their discount from 15% to 20% off the commercial property tax rate. Yes, it is what we can do, and we are doing it. And when you live in Toronto, you invest in Toronto. Every dollar of tax you pay, every ride you take, every fees you pay goes back into making our city more livable and affordable for everyone. It's a bargain we make with each other. We look after each other. At the end of the day, the budget is about the single mom who can finally sleep at night knowing her kids are not hungry at school. It's about the senior who can stay in their home they lived in for 40 years. It's about the young couple who can imagine a future here in the city they love. So as a city government, we know what we have to do right now, and we are doing our parts. But we can't do it alone. It's going to take every level of government, big businesses, nonprofit organizations, people who do very well, to do more. I will continue to work with the Premier and the Prime Minister, with businesses and city leaders, and with the thinkers and the planners and the dreamers who have built Toronto. Only by working together can we solve the big challenges facing us, and we will. I have faith in us as Canadians, as Torontonians, and as neighbors and friends. Together we can, and we will, build an affordable, caring, and safe Toronto. Thank you. Thank you, Natasha. By the way, our budget book, very proud of it. Some of you may have some questions.
Yes,
there
we
you
do.
are.
Hi,
Hello.
morning, Mayor. Lane from CBC. You talked about fare capping in 2027, getting it down to 40 rides. Does that mean you intend to run for mayor again to be able to oversee fare capping in 2027?
What a question. Hey, if more people ride the TTC right now, and if our ridership goes up, which means that we will have more money, then we can start the fare capping program. The more you ride, the less you pay. Maybe before World Cup, wouldn't that be amazing? Then we could actually do the 40 rides by September. But all it takes is more people riding it, so our revenue will go up. So please, take the better way, ride TTC right now. It's a lot safer, it is great, the service are improving and getting more reliable, and it's faster too. A minute faster in subways, by the way. Yes, it is. It's rather than waiting 3.5 minutes, it's 2.5 minutes in line 1 and line 2. That's it's also affordable. Sorry.
And just
I get very excited talking about TTC.
Yeah, me too. When you're looking at forming your budget, can you tell us about some of the feedback that you took into consideration from the budget committee and from residents that helped you change anything?
Yes, the budget committee said, and we heard some of the deputants say that it's rough out there for the most vulnerable, for the homeless folks, especially in the middle of a storm. So they said they need more support in the downtown to have more services, more outreach to the most vulnerable. And I agreed with that. So we have put aside $500,000 to help these folks getting housing, getting support services, whether it's mental health or drug treatment. Already we've housed 4,500 people from homelessness, from shelters into homes. We can do more. So that's one area. We heard about youth safety. So there's some money there to support young people. We heard from small businesses about shopping local, buying local. We love that. So yeah, the small business rate is gone down for 5%.
Hi, Marion Bérubé from Radio-Canada. I just want to jump in Lane's question. Will you be a candidate for the election? Or yes or no?
I don't know. What I am focusing on is delivering an affordable and caring, safer city. I believe this is so important because it's tough. It's tough. We went shopping together, Natasha and I, and we were picking up, Ella and her brothers were picking up the food, and we looked at the price. I thought, wow, they were not cheap. And Natasha was telling me how much more it had gone up. And I just asked her a few minutes ago, how long did what we did? I think we spent, I don't know, $60-70, right? And we thought it might last a week. I think you said it lasted, 2 or 3 days? Yeah, it lasted 2 or 3 days. They were just snacks. They were protein, they were yogurt, and we had some some fruits and apples, yeah. And my gosh, that's what I'm focusing on, because the price of grocery, it's incredibly high. So, food is an essential service. And I'm so glad that our CEO from the Daily Bread Food Bank, Harrington, is here. By the way, you're probably still accepting donations at Daily Bread Food Bank, and I believe Second Harvest are here, North York Harvest are here. And yeah, let's come together, because it's a tough challenges, and the only way we can deal with it is to come together and work together.
Good morning, Mayor. I'm Alicia from the Toronto Star. I have a question about the capital side of the budget and some of the work that's being done to make that work, even though the repair backlog is growing. Some community center upgrade work is being deferred. More of that might be coming in future years. How concerned should we be about the state of the capital budget and the state of being able to do important and necessary repairs in the city?
Thank you for that excellent question. For too long, the TDC, for example, their backlog continues to grow. Because of the historic New Deal, we unlocked $2 billion. So TDC alone have a $500 million investment to deal with their state of good repair. So which is why on weekends sometimes you see that they have to close line 2, for example, to fix the tracks and the signals. And that will continue. As to the community centers, etc., there's a slowdown in right now in construction. But the city have put aside $400 million to give incentives. So 7 out of 10 buildings across the city are being built because of the city's incentives, right? So we're creating jobs and spending. In the budget, you will see that because of the provincial deferral, I believe it's Bill 60, that defer our development charges to later. There is a few years lag, which means that we don't have the upfront money to help the community center build. At this point, we are hoping that if there are more construction out there, we will be able to recoup some of the money into our development charges, and then we would be able to build those community centers. But people are not, there's no housing and there's no density, which means that the needs for that community center is slightly less. But I just want to assure everyone that in the state of good repair from all of the things, whether it is libraries or community centers or roads, it is 100% we are on track.